Right.
Hello.
Hey, mate, right?
Hi, yeah, I'm fine. You?
All right, how are you?
Yeah, good.
Who's this? Oh. You're right. Oh, who's on?
Everybody's in the same boat and it's nice camaraderie. We all work together very well.
That's a lovely pen, Victoria.
Thanks, Phil. I'm doing work at the same time. Maybe I'm multitasking. Do not make a comment.
I didn't need to.
I have yeah, so I'm not. I'll let you see me wall.
you energy smart? Utility Alliance is the business energy expert, lowering your electricity, gas and water costs.
Craig, it looks like you've had a Lionel Blair haircut like me. Can't hear you.
Taking advantage of collective buying capacity, we make savings to pass directly on to you.
Fucking hell.
Harry. 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 Harry.
Get Willis.
Harry.
Legal.
Harry.
Jason.
Harry.
Lee Smith.
Harry.
West Street.
Harry. Julie Staples. Harry. Harry. Okay. Harry.
Gary.
Harry.
Money Hadley.
Harry. Sam Taylor. Harry. Harry.
Real.
Harry. 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 Killian. Harry.
Ben.
Harry. Harry.
Will Galloway.
Bloody hell, Mark, you look like a convict.
Thanks.
Right, go. Hey, in that car. Here. Here. No, okay. Here. Come on.
Guys, can you please put yourself on mute?
Here. 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 Here.
Scott.
Here. Here. Lisa. Yvette. Ira. Here. Here. I hear you right. Here. 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 Valerie. Here. Louise. Have you tried to get on the flock? Tonight, no. It's letting me on, but it's just coming up with Samantha Childs. It's the only person that's saying.
Mark Senior.
Sophie, can you put yourself on mute, please? Thank you. Mark, you as well, mate? Can you put yourself on mute?
She's not doing it. I don't know why. She's not doing it whatsoever. You want me to come off and just go on audio?
It's just at the bottom of your screen, you should have like 6 buttons. There's one that's a microphone. If you just click on it, mate.
Still not working, mate. There we are.
That's it. Done it.
Here. Here.
Ian Caithness.
Here.
Rob.
Here. Amy. Here. Here.
Frank Gamble. Hello? Will Galloway.
That's left. Number.
Hello?
Yeah. Hello. Right.
Yeah, everyone's asleep. We're just waiting for the last couple of people to log in. Just while we're doing that, can I please ask that if you're not talking, can you put yourself on mute, please? Thank you.
Gary. Adele. Gary. Gary.
Okay, so thanks everyone for joining us for the conference call today. Again, just want to reiterate on behalf of myself, Bob, Darren, Dan, Steve, Stoney, all of the senior managers, just a massive thank you and well done from all of us for the hard work and dedication and probably most of all the performance that's been put in so far since people have been working from home. So we're going to do this. So we're going to try to do this once every week, 2 weeks, depending on how things go. As you've all been made aware now that this has been extended now for another 3 weeks. So it's going to be probably the 7th of May at a minimum before anybody's back at work. So, let's just all make the most of it. Let's keep plodding on. And if we continue the level of performance that we are doing now, it's complete hats off to you. So, again, on behalf of all of us, thank you very much. A couple of things that we want to tell you before we kick off on the incentive. As a thank you, and I think it was 2 weeks ago since we last done one of these calls. So for those people who either got their pizzas a little bit late or they didn't turn up, we had, shall we say, a little bit of a logistical nightmare ordering pizzas for 120 people. All of our personal bank cards got blocked. All of our business cards got blocked. So we had to, beg, borrow and steal for different card details that we can order people's pizzas from. So, we would love to do that for you again, but, based on the nightmare that we had, it's not practical. But what we will say is if you all want to order yourself something from Domino's, Just Eat, Deliveroo, any of those forums, order it, pay for it yourself, and you can pay £20. So, as a thank you, all enjoy your lunch on us. Get your receipts, get your stuff over to Paul in finance, and he'll get that reimbursed for you as soon as possible as well. In addition to that, again, just as a little thank you and appreciate, the vast majority of the country are classed as furloughed now, and quite a lot of your colleagues will be as well. The weather's been quite nice, and I understand the temptation of thinking let's just jack this in. What am I actually working for? I just want to reiterate what you are working for. You're going to get your full wages. You're going to get your full commissions. You're going to get your full commissions as and when the wages go through. With the people who are furloughed, they're getting up to 80% of their wage, up to a maximum cap of £2,500. And also their commissions are going to be deferred. We will still be paying those commissions, but it's deferred until after, shall we say, the pandemic and everything goes back to normal. On top of that is another thank you on behalf of myself and the other directors. When all of this does return back to normal, we're going to be adding an extra half a day's holiday to all of your entitlements for every week that you have been working from home. Just as a little thank you, and something for you to work towards as well. So again, credit to you all. The performance so far has been absolutely unbelievable, and we can't thank you enough. That'll take me on to the incentive next. So it's going to be a similar format to what we've done last time. As per popular demand, we've added more prizes in, so there isn't as bigger prizes, but there's more prizes there for people to win. And the format that we've decided on doing for this is every single person who's working from home has their name in the hat. And then we've also added an element of performance-based, recognition on the back of this as well. So everybody's name's in the hat at least once. For people, for the sales guys, for every 20% of target you are, your name is then being re-entered into the hat as well. So there's a few people and a couple of special thanks of people. We've got one person who's in there 56 times. So some people are absolutely the performance is unbelievable, and again, thank you all for that. So Bob, Steve, Stoney, Dan, do you have anything that you want to add before we start off?
No, I'm fine.
No. Okay, so we're going to do the same format. We're going to do the name first, and then we're going to allocate a prize to that individual. Okay, so the wheel's spinning now. We're going to start off with the first winner. Okay, and the winner of the first prize is Sarah Cannell. Okay, the prize for Sarah is going to be Sarah's the winner of a luxury patio set. It's a luxury patio set with fire pit, barbecue, ice chill and everything like that. It's a really, really fantastic prize. So well done, Sarah.
Well done, Sarah. Well done.
Okay. The next lucky winner is As If Mahmood. As If is one of those people who we mentioned earlier on whose name's in this for probably about time. So massive well done to he's on over 1,000% of target for the month. So fantastic achievement. Well done, mate.
Well done, Sue. Well done. Thank you, Matt.
Let's see what you're going to win, mate. Okay, as if I've won a 5-litre wine barrel and 5 bottles of wine. So I hope you like your wine. Hope you like your wine, mate. There's plenty coming your way.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Next winner is Carl Dixon.
Thank you very much.
Well done, mate. Well done, Carl. Okay, Carl, you've won £50 worth of wine. I'll get further details of what that entails out to you. But you know, again, hope you enjoy your wine. Should make the next 3 weeks go a little bit quicker for you.
Sounds good to me. Thank you very much.
Well done, mate. Okay, the next winner is Liam Rochester. Again, Liam is, one of our, amazing stars so far for this month. He was in the draw over 30 times, so fantastic performance, mate. Well deserved and well.
Yeah, well done.
Okay, see what you're going to win, mate.
Yeah.
Okay, is it going to be a 4-foot football table or a keg of Stella? Looks like it's going to be a keg of Stella, mate.
No, nice one.
Yep,
Best price.
keg of Stella. By far the best prize that's in there, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, thank you.
Well done, mate. Yep. We'll go on to Jack. Next week's winner is Jack Elgie. Well done, Jack.
But hey,
Let's see what you've won. you've won a DeLonghi Gusto mini coffee maker.
Come on. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well done, mate. Okay, next winner is loveliest person on the planet, Roger Williams.
Hey!
Let's have a look and see what you've won, Georgia.
If it was anyone else, I'd be saying it was a fix.
Sure, everybody else is saying that. Karaoke machine. It's George's lucky winner of a Nintendo handheld console.
Oh, jackpot! Well done. Thank you very much.
Well done, Georgia.
Take up.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Next lucky winner is Aaron Hicks. Well done, Aaron.
Thank you.
Okay. Aaron, you've won a keg of Stella, mate. Well done. Fantastic prize.
Thanks a lot.
Cool. Next winner is Louis LaMarshall. Well done, Louis. See what you've won. Yeah, well done, Louis. You've won a £100 Amazon voucher.
Well done, Louis.
Is Louis on the call?
He's another full slug.
Well done, mate. Okay. As if Mahmood's won again. Well done, as if. Probably should have mentioned this earlier, but we'd agreed that only a person can win a maximum of 2 prizes, as if. So we're going to be removing your name completely from the draft of that. But well done, mate. Well deserved.
Thank you. Well done, Pat. Well done.
Let's just hope it's not another £50 worth of wine. I think it's going to be as well. Couldn't write it, could you? Yeah, another. Like I say, enjoy the next few weeks.
Thank you very much. Here.
Okay, next up, the winner is Jonathan Puller.
Cheers.
Hey, well done, Johnny.
Well done, Johnny.
Johnny's a lucky winner of a 4-foot football table. Well done, mate. Hope you enjoy it.
Cheers. Thanks.
Okay, next winner is Liam Rochester again. Liam, same as if, maximum of 2 prizes, so well done, mate, well deserved. But you'll be removed from the draw now. So mate, you've won a cordless multi-purpose hair clippers and trimmers.
I've already shaved your hair off, so a bit late on that one, but nice one, yeah.
It'll,
What is it? I've got a like nothing.
it'll help you. It'll help you keep it tidied up, mate.
Nice one, cheers. Thank you very much.
Well done, though, mate.
You can take your eyebrows off now.
Doing Darren, you well?
I bet he don't. Next one is David Lamb. Well done, mate.
Well done, Davy.
Dave, you want to pick up Stella, mate. Well done.
Cheers, mate.
Hope you enjoyed.
Well done.
Okay, next one is Emma Dowie. Well done, Emma.
Hey, well done, Emma. Well done, Em.
Thanks.
Hearing.
Emma's won a 10-inch portable tablet from Facebook. Well done, Em.
Lovely, thank you.
Well done.
You couldn't have picked a better prize yourself, could you?
I couldn't have actually. Thank you.
Okay, next winner is Chris Anderson. Well done, mate.
Brilliant, mate. Well done, Chris.
Okay, Chris, you've won a Ring video doorbell.
Brilliant, cheers. Thank you very much.
Hopefully you don't live in a flat.
And left.
Okay, next one is Anna Smith. Well done, Anna.
Well done. Well done, brilliant. Is that everyone's call? Yeah.
Kiana, you've got yourself a karaoke machine. Hope you enjoy. Next one up in the Sheffield office is Matt Senior. Well done, mate.
Happy days.
Well done, Mark.
Well done, Mark.
Well done, Mark. You've won a Fitbit.
Brilliant, thank you. Well done.
You can now keep track of your daily exercise. Next winner is Keith Burnett.
Alright, well deserved, Keith. Thank you.
Here. And left.
I think it's going to be the perfect price for you, mate.
Was it like a gym or something?
£100 worth of JD vouchers.
I'll get myself a new tracksuit chair, so. Can you spend them in them shops in Manchester, can you?
Yeah, I'm sure they've got one in Manchester, yeah.
Thanks, so appreciate it all, thank you.
Well done, mate. Okay, next winner is Mark Wilcox. Well done, mate.
He's on holiday this week, Phil.
Ah. Has it gone anywhere nice?
Give us the wine, I'll take good care of you.
Has it gone anywhere nice?
Costa del Garden, I think he said.
Okay, if you can pass on and let know he's won a Fire TV Cube. Next lucky winner is Andrew Walker. Okay, well, he's won himself a Crystal Head vodka. Go on. If you can pass on our congratulations to him, please.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Cheers.
That's a big 3 litre bottle of Crystal Head vodka. Really good stuff, that.
Next winner is Vanessa Hislop.
Well done, Annette. Well done, Annette. Hello.
The quietest I've ever heard her.
Just walk you up. You there, Nettie?
She's on holiday, I think. Yeah, she's on holiday.
Well, in the 1830s holiday, you lost.
Well, she's won herself a £100 Amazon voucher anyway, so she can get herself something nice. Next winner is Dale Conway. Well done, mate.
Well done, Dale. Go on, Daily boy. Yeah, Daily boy.
Okay, well done, Dale. You've won £100 worth of Amazon vouchers.
Oh, cheers. Thank you.
Well done, mate.
Here.
Next winner is Johnny Dodds. Well done, mate.
Johnny's hello.
Is he? Okay, that's fine. We'll just respin then. Unlucky, Johnny. Guys, I've got somebody on the video conference who isn't on mute and is typing away. Can you please put yourself on mute? Excellent winner is Mark Robinson. Well done, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Well done, Mark.
Cheers.
You've won £100 worth of board games.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks very much indeed.
Should keep you occupied. Okay, we're down to the last prize now, which is going to be Kindle. Let's see who the lucky winner is. Okay, and the last winner who's winning Amazon Kindle is Scott Moran. Well done, mate. Okay, ladies and gents, that's all the prizes for today. Again, just want to reiterate a massive thank you from myself and the other directors for all your hard work. And you know, we understand it's not usual times, but you know, let's make the best out of it. You know, let's keep plodding on. Let's keep carrying on with the performance that we're doing now. Just to reiterate what we've said today. Want to get yourself lunch either today, tomorrow, over the weekend. You can claim it back up to £20 on expenses. To get those sent over to Paul Henderson. Everybody will be given an extra half a day's holiday for every week that they're working from home. Massive congratulations to all the prize winners. And you know, I just want to reiterate from myself and all senior management, you know, it's you guys that are putting in the hard work and you know, helping the company out and helping yourselves out through, you know, what is a difficult time. You know, usually be the people that's remembered long after this whole saga's you know gone through. So again, for myself, massive thank you. Bob, Darren, Steve, Stoney, Dan, anything from you, mate?
Yeah, just a really brilliant performance, you guys. It's really nice to see everybody pull together, wrap the backsides off, and just not giving into the peer pressure and of anything else out there, and just get your head down and just get working through this. So big pat on the back and well done. Just enjoy your prizes today, you better. Yeah, absolutely. Just to mirror what Bob and Phillip said there, you know, performance has been we've had one of the strongest months that we've had, percentage to target wise. You know, we've picked the right workforce to see us through these tough times. Well, in reaching 4 years.
Darren, Steve, Dan? Off from you? No, well, if not, thank you, everybody. You know, enjoy your weekends, and you know, again, thank you very much. Cheers, guys. Bye. Hey mate, right? Aye, good. No, did you not? It's, uh, yeah, well, it was that I got sent a list of everybody that was working from home last week, and I just added them all into a list, so I must have missed you off. Yeah, it might be worth getting Colin to create a distribution list for everybody who's working from home. I think that'll be easy ones. We just said for every week that they've worked from home. Yeah. So who were the two that didn't want to have the extra days holiday? Right. Okay. So what, they'd rather have the Friday afternoons off. Well, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, it's like an extra 3 4 days holiday. Yeah. I mean, it's like he's he's gone a bit quiet with him. Like at the moment. I mean, started he, he he just like shut off, didn't he? And he just seems to have got a bit quiet now. I had uh, I had a quiet word with Craig Portsmouth earlier on. Like, just said, "Look about what you're doing." Yeah, he's pretty much a can't call, and I said, well, hopefully when all this is resolved, you'll have a newfound respect for the lead generators, everyone. No, no, no. To be fair, he said, I'd said, looking at just looking at your productivity stats, the raw stats don't look good. I said, and then I said, and then when I go in and start having a look at have a look at your calls and listen to your calls, I said, you just sound flat, you sound deflated. It doesn't mean you put an awful lot of effort in. And he was like, well, I didn't realise I was being like that, but now that you've pointed it out, I'll make sure it's different. Um, he gives a bit like reassurances that he was trying to work from home and he was working his best, and you know he uh, he said it's a lot easier now that Donna's not working. He said because pretty much him and Donna were both trying to work from home, and they had Eddie pretty much jumping all over them, wanting attention, which I can understand. Uh, I mean, I was doing that conference call, and the kids kept coming in here, like both of them, oh, blah 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 blah. I was like, piss off. But then they look at you as if like you're a complete idiot because you're like they can't see what you're looking at on the screen and stuff like that. And I'm just like, piss off, you get out. I know. Yeah, good stuff, mate. All right, happy days. Bye.
Hi, Phil.
Hi, Andrew. How are you doing? You okay?
Deeply frustrated, honestly. I got onto Teams, and most of the meetings, I've just had all the meetings I've had on Teams have always been organised with somebody else. So I found it quite really very easy to use, except that I hadn't used it. So then I started to think, I'll set it up for you. And then I thought, this is getting difficult. I've used Skype. I got onto Skype, I know this is going to bore you, but got onto Skype only to find out that somehow I managed to put the wrong email, the wrong password in. I then changed my password. It's going to take me another half an hour to work out, and I thought, I've just got you waiting at the other end. I'm going to have to give up. It's just, when I think the worst part of it is when you said you'll have a conversation at a fixed time, and you're thinking, I should have started this about half an hour earlier, because it's always when you pick something up, and you probably haven't used Skype for at least 3 weeks, and I knew that I had a difficulty with my password. In that, the trouble is you sometimes access Outlook or Microsoft through various different apps, and I knew I'd changed the password, and I thought there might be a problem, and of course there is. Anyway,
no, it's absolutely fine. I mean, we tend to use Zoom for a lot of our video conferences, which works really, really well.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'm not. My wife is using it, and I should just get onto it, because I think it's probably, everybody seems to think it's the best way of doing stuff. But for whatever reason, all the various people I've been dealing with have been using Teams, so I've been generally using it through that. But anyway, we can talk, which is really the purpose of this.
So, how are you keeping anyway? It's been long.
Yeah, not bad. In terms of just generally before COVID came along, sort of doing a variety of work for maybe, I don't know, a dozen or so companies, and it's quite a nice existence. Normally I work probably 2 or 3 days from home anyway, so this lockdown hasn't felt quite so odd as it might do for some people. But equally, after 3 weeks or 4 weeks of being, in the house, it's just, I'm ready to, I'm ready for them to release us, really. If only to play a bit of golf and just generally get a bit of, there's fresh air to be had here. I live in the country, so I can walk about, but it's just depressing not really being able to see people and have a beer and generally sort of just do a bit of socialising.
Yeah, I'm still a little bit surprised that they've closed golf courses, because social distancing wouldn't be a problem on a golf course, would it?
No, not at all. I think they've just gone for, just blanket bans on everything, basically. And if they only started to think about it, there are certainly, I think they really want to get the message across that, that people have got to stick with it. And that if they start sort of allowing certain things out, that, I think their worry is people will stop behaving sensibly. But in my experience, I've met 1 or 2 old people. I've been to the shops, and there's 1 or 2 old people who frankly haven't got their head round what social distancing is. It's sort of, they're queuing literally about an inch behind me. I'm sort of thinking, I'm not worried about it, but it's just like, you can't really shoo them off and say, look, you're supposed to be at least 6 feet away from anyone. But apart from that, everyone's been pretty good, I think. And I can't see how the virus could spread much when everyone's been so, there's so much distancing going on. It's hard to see where you pick it up, apart from possibly at the shops, but not easily. Yeah. But they could make it easier for us, I'm sure, and without any material change of risk. But I had to put my mother into a residential home only 2 months ago, and so I'm fearing that, because
that must be tough.
You can sort of it's only a matter of time, I think, because once it gets into a home, then everybody's going to but most people are going to get it, almost for certain. So anyway, let's hope. Touch wood, that's not going to happen. And for you, you're presumably at home, are you, or are you going into the office at all?
No, just working from home. So we've got about 150 people working from home, which is just short of a third of the staff that we've got. The others that we've had to furlough them for various different reasons. Either they don't they don't have the facilities and the infrastructure to be able to work from home. Some of them, quite frankly, you just wouldn't trust them to work from home, that they're actually going to do a job.
Exactly.
But the performance that we're getting out of the circa a third of the staff that we've got is actually on par with what we would have with 100% of staff in work. So it's actually it's mind blowing. I can't get my head around it. I thought that we would really, really struggle, but it's the performance is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's just.
That's good. That's good, because I have to say, my experience has been that I've been actually busier since I've been locked down than before. But that's because I think the lockdown has caused a load of issues for all the businesses that I deal with, and they tend to bring me in to consult on those things. Whereas for you, I would have thought people would be sort of thinking, "Oh God, I've got bigger problems than my energy bills," and probably fob you off. That's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah, I mean, we were quite conscientious about it beforehand, and we went. I mean, we use a multitude of different data providers, and we went to them as we thought it was going to go into lockdown, and said, give us your key contact mobile phone data. So we bought a load of that in. So we're contacting key decision makers by the mobile numbers, and it seems to be once you actually get them on the phone, they're a lot more prepared to listen to you.
Well, that's probably true, isn't it? Because I mean, I know, speaking to myself, for myself, somebody rings me on my mobile. Okay, if it's somebody from India wanting to sell me PPI, then no. But I mean, anybody else, I'll usually, I'll always answer, and I'll probably listen. That's interesting.
And on top of that, the energy prices are the lowest now than they have been since I've ever worked in the industry. So
I mean, it's got to be a great time to make a sale now, if you can do, because as you say, I mean, sure, I hope they're not going to stay that low, because I think it's almost. I know it's good for some businesses, but it'll crucify the energy companies, but I'll crucify the oil companies anyway. I don't know.
Energy prices directly linked to oil, basically, as So once mass production of oil starts going up and demand starts going up, then energy prices will follow. So it couldn't be a better time to buy your gas and electricity at the moment.
I've got oil central heating here, so I'm just cashed in with as much oil as I can get into the tank.
Stockpile it.
It's not that it's be better if it was winter and I was going to be using it, but anyway, there we go. Yeah. Well, look, I mean, thanks for for taking this call. What are my thoughts? I thought it was worth reaching out, and maybe I'll start by just giving you a few observations of my own.
Yep.
I'm not asking you to respond. I don't want you to feel that I'm asking you to compromise or acknowledge or accept anything that I say. But I'll give you my vision of this, and then maybe you make of it what you will, and say whatever you really want to say. But but anyway, I'll give you the way I see it. As I see it, I mean, this is true across, not with every single broker, but with a vast majority of brokers. They haven't really applied their minds to or considered the issue of agency and the duties that potentially arise for them. We've had advice from a number of leading counsel on the subject, and to a man and woman, they've all been very clear on the fact that agency applies, perhaps not in 100% of cases, but in the vast majority of cases. And I think that all brokers are in a difficult position here. I mean, there are things they could do, but the vast majority of them haven't done it. And even if they had done it, they wouldn't necessarily get them out, but they could have had various defensive mechanisms, but the majority of them have done nothing about it. Some of them have put some defensive mechanisms in, but largely, I think that they're exposed. And to be honest, I think that you know, it's going to take some time, but ultimately there's going to be a sea change here, where there are things you could be doing to safeguard yourself. But I'm not going to. It's not my job to tell you what they are. But you know, you're not doing it, and frankly, the vast majority of others aren't doing it. There's a few things we're starting to see come in as we're getting letters out and as we're getting claims in and what have you, and terms and conditions are appearing or changing, and various other things are happening. But by and large, we're pretty darn confident that we're going to win the day on all of the claims, frankly. And you know, Stranton Social Club, you know. Well, you'll have your own view on it, but I think it was a pretty clear indictment of affirmation of what I'm saying. And I you know, I think, you know, you're going to struggle, I think, to defend these cases, and you're going to spend a lot of money doing that. Is my perception, and ultimately, you know, you know, I might be wrong, but I, you know, certainly I've not had. There's been nothing in any of the discussions, any of the details, all the arguments that I've seen from brokers, and we're seeing, you know, there's lots and lots. I've engaged with lots and lots of brokers, but the arguments largely are pretty similar, and none of them really hold water in my. Occasionally, some people have been a bit clever with some of their T's and C's or with their LOAs or whatever, and there may be a little bit of difficulty with a few of them, but the vast majority are going to fall into the category of, you know, we think they're going to lose the cases, and indeed a number of them are coming forward and offering to settle or seeking to settle, and you know, we're finding that's happening more and more, albeit it's still a long way to go. My perception here is, you know, we've got Beck's got I don't know how many, 6, 7, 8 cases against you or thereabouts. I don't know how many there are. And, you know, we can continue to pursue them, and you could continue to fight them. You'll spend a lot on legals. I've got all our lawyers working on contingent fees, so it doesn't actually cost us anything. So, you know, I say it doesn't cost us anything. We've got court fees and one or two other things, but largely we can run these cases at little cost. And you're going to be burning money with legals. Now, what do you gain by delaying it? Well, you delay the day when you've got to pay, so fine, that's good. In my view, you're probably going to go down for 100%, or and that's what happened with Stranton, and you know, I suspect that's the case. You know, it's not my position to advise you, but I'm going to make one or two observations. I think it would suit you, frankly, to try and cut a deal with us, whereby we agree a percentage of commission that is repaid to the client, and that you know, we can finesse how that might be paid and what have you, and there's ways in which it might work for you and work for us. Because one of the ones you've got, or indeed we have, is that we say you've earned X commission. Well, in reality, you've only earned it if they've used the energy. And of course, so there's caveats there that you, I think, without trying to anticipate your arguments, would want to make that you might theoretically be going to earn commission of A, B, or C. In reality, you may not do, because they could go out of business or whatever, and those sorts of caveats are going to be particularly true in today's world. But I think there's something in it for you, because one, you stop your legal burn, or if you don't stop it, you cut it down drastically. Two, you have certainty of what the outcome. Well, you have reasonable certainty of what the outcome's going to be. I've got to say, I'll caveat this because whilst you might reach an agreement with business energy claims, you would we can advise the client that we've got a settlement and we can recommend a settlement, but ultimately there's always a possibility that clients can say, below that, I'm not accepting this. I want to go for the whole lot, and et cetera, so that trying to get them to settle, but it would be in our interests to, well, it would be sort of in our interest, and I think it would be in our interest if we've got a workable solution with you that you can live with, then you'll get us off your back. And yes, you'll have to pay back some of the commission, but you're probably going to do that anyway. You're probably going to ultimately pay back all of that. Plus, you're going to have a heavy legal burden getting there. So my thoughts are, there is sense in coming to a sort of a handling arrangement with you. We could also offer, as part of that, not to publicise cases against you, or settlements or against you, because clearly that's a potential thing, that's a potential route for business energy claims. They could publicise successful claims, and then where are you? It's going to end up dragging. Well, it's going to create difficulties for you. So my thoughts are, there's a lot to be said for us as agreeing a handling arrangement. Now, so that was really what I wanted to sort of put in front of you, and let you sort of either take that away and think about it, which I assume you'd want to do that, whatever happened, and discuss it with your directors. But equally, just to sort of kick the ball around and see. I mean, you may have observations or thoughts on the subject, but that you want to share with me. But that's my thought. And I thought also the other thing is that I think it's good to have a dialogue on these things. As you know, well, and I think I'd like to think that I can be a reasonable intermediary to those discussions. I'm not sure that it would work with you and Callum.
Why? What you said?
No, it's not so much that. It's more that I think it's more that I think where there's ever a dispute, people tend to be sort of they take it personally, and I don't know whether you are or you're not, but
no,
I think
I don't take it personally at all. It's business.
Well, good for you, and that's good. And I think that's a very,
isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a very mature way of handling it. Although, I think it's more that for Callum, it's become a bit of a crusade, and whatever one might say about that, and one might say a number of things. It has, and
like he's got some kind of brass neck.
Yeah. Well, quite.
It just bemuses me that him and his family have made millions and millions of doing what we're doing, and then they're then trying to have a second bite at the cherry. That's the only thing that riles me personally. Apart from that, business is business. We'll crack on with the rest of it, and I have a lot of respect for certainly Adam more so than anybody else in that family, but a bit of respect for Jeff and Callum as well. And I just don't get the point of view of doing it. There's so many other things that they could go at. Why do this?
I'm not. I have no answer.
I didn't expect you to.
But yeah. I mean, I think. I think the point that I would make to you, and you take it away and make of it what you will, is I think there are ways in which brokers could handle these things far more carefully and make claims against them far more difficult than they are at the moment. At the moment, there's a lot of claims that they're just so easy, frankly.
Yeah, and I suppose let's go back to the beginning of the conversation. You talked about Stratton Social Club.
Yeah.
If I'm being perfectly honest, that was a strategical play from us. We knew it was a case that we were never going to win. It was probably the weakest case that we could probably ever try to defend. But it was a couple of grand. We knew it was only going to cost us a couple of grand, and we thought it's worth a couple of grand just to see what your arguments are. Ultimately that's the way we played it, and we were quite blasé about it. Didn't really put an awful lot of effort into it. It was a couple of grand. We knew it was always going to go in favour of, against us. It was quite far blatant that it was an agency deal. It was quite blatant that because we didn't have a representative there to say, when we had this conversation with the customer, we told them it was going to be, commission was going to be built into it. So you'll know as well as I do, Andrew, that you can deal with one customer and it's an agency, and you can deal with another customer 5 months later and it's not agency. It depends on the conversations and the documentation that's portrayed there. Also with Stratton Social Club, that was in 2017. Our business practices and procedures have developed considerable since then. We feel we're pretty much protected. Obviously as 17, 18, 19 and now 20 go along, the earlier the time, then maybe the less protected that we were against things like this. But, as of now, I can pretty much guarantee any bit of business that we write now, there would never be any claim against us.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. I couldn't comment really because without knowing exactly what you've done, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't know. But I could well imagine that there are a number of things.
Well, in essence, with every contract that we write now, with every contract that we send a customer now that we get them signed, we send them our terms and conditions, and in the terms and conditions is the uplift that we've applied.
Yeah. Well, exactly, and I think I would be wary of assuming there's any clear silver bullet here, because you'll take your own advice, but my view is that the issue of agency is there to be, is there unless you can show that there are very clear reasons why it isn't there. And I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, because I don't know. I don't know what you've done, so therefore I couldn't possibly. But certainly I agree that there's a lot that brokers can do to improve their position, and I anticipate they will in due course. But that still leaves the historical claims to be dealt with. So it might be that you, if you were to respond to what I'm suggesting, it might be that you want to fix that up to a certain period of time for cases prior to a given date. That would be a possibility. I don't know. It's up to you. I mean, I know most of the. Well, I don't know most of the cases. I know of the cases that are there against you. Some of them I know in a bit of detail, in a fair bit of detail. Others I don't at all. And I wouldn't know for virtually all of them from what date they speak from. But I understand what you're saying. I think my only caveat would be you might be there now. I suspect you will have had to do a lot in order to have moved from where you were to a position where you don't have any risk. You may well be there, and I'm not questioning that. And at what point you got there, and I don't. But anyway, the point is that the point of this call is to say, let's have an open line of communication. If you would like to seek to reach some form of handling arrangement, then we could have that discussion. If you don't, then fine. But you've got my phone number, so if you change your mind at all, I mean it's one for you. My gut feel on the. As I say, I don't know all of the cases. I don't know the background to all of the cases. I certainly don't know when they date from. But certainly from what I've heard or what's been reported to me, there's certainly a number. Well, I'd have thought at least several. The others I might just don't know the detail of, where there appear to be good claims against you. So I might, stand to be corrected, but that seems to be the case certainly from the ones that I'm looking at. I don't know. But anyway, look, I mean, I don't know. I hear what you say. I'm not questioning it. But equally, even if that is true, and it may well be, and probably is if you've been getting some good advice, then you've still got historical issues to face, and that may be, and I think you've got the danger of BEC sort of making more of it than and effectively focusing on you more than they might otherwise do. So I think that's something also to think about and see whether
I hope that wasn't some kind of threat, Andrew.
No, I'm not trying to threaten you, Phil. I'm just observing. I'm not going to be doing it, but you would expect that if you've had a successful case, you would publicise it, wouldn't you? I mean, wouldn't you? You would.
Yeah, but let's look at the facts of that case. There wasn't anybody who had any dealings with that customer present at the court case because they'd left us.
Yeah.
There was no call recordings. It was a face-to-face meeting. It wasn't witnessed. It was literally that bloke from the Trenton Social Club could have said anything he wanted to, and the judge would have just believed him.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
It was by far the weakest case we could have ever possibly tried to defend. But we done it just to see what you had to say.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah. Fine. I mean.
Okay. I kind of preempted this call, and I thought it would be a suggestion that you would make as we come to some agreement, and there would be a dampened down version of remuneration back to the customers and stuff like that. What I would be willing to entertain, whether this is something that you would be, and we've used a similar line with shall we say disagreements with other brokers, is we've set up an independent adjudicator. So we agree the framework between ourselves of what does count as a claim, what doesn't count as a claim. This independent, we generally use a QC. Independent QC looks at it and either awards it in our favour or your favour. And if they award it in your favour, then it would be presented as a percentage commission. If we agree a framework, then that's something that I'm more than willing to discuss and explore.
Okay, well that's a suggestion. I can take that back as a possibility. I can take that back.
It saves all going to court, and ultimately, if we present everything, you present everything. We agree framework, we agree the process, we agree what does count as a claim, what doesn't count as a claim. What's been disclosed, what hasn't been disclosed, and in essence, put some kind of scoring mechanism behind that and decide what percentage of the claim is attributed for that.
Yeah. Okay. I hear what you say. I think that's look. The idea of an independent adjudication is certainly one that we could certainly give some serious thought to. Yeah.
And once that's out there, I've got quite a bit of influence within the marketplace now. With I have direct contact all the time with the directors of the brokers, and it could be a scheme that we could potentially get other people involved in as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. I mean, what you're saying. I mean, this is one where I'm thinking and talking at the same time. So let me.
And look, the framework has to be agreed by both parties before we enter that. So it's not going to be completely one-sided from our point of view. You are going to obviously want to have your input and how you want it to work. We'll have our input and what we want to work. There's probably going to be some degree of compromise in between to come to a mutual agreement. And look, if it doesn't happen, we can't come to an agreement, then that takes that off the table. But something worth exploring.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm happy to do that. And you've done that with other claims, you're saying?
Just with other brokers. I mean, we do a similar thing with Northern Gas and Power, Great Annual Savings. If we've got a dispute between us, rather than take it to court, we take it to an independent adjudicator saying, this is what we think, this is what we think. You make the decision, and whatever you say, we'll abide by.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, would you like to again, without prejudice, and in any event, it's also a confidential and confidential basis. If you've got something that I can draft something, but I can equally, if you've got something that you've used in the past, why don't you ping it over with some thoughts, or if you want, I can do the same. But I think if you've already done it, then that might be a good starting point. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose the terminology that we've got is mainly around change of tenancies, coups.
I agree. No, I take that. Forgive me, I'm cutting across you, but no, I take the point that the items of dispute would need to be obviously quite different and honed in, because I can see that those are issues for the issue is probably mostly, frankly, going to be on the issue of agency, I think, because issues of fact might be more difficult for them to evaluate. But we could look at it. I mean, it could be more. What I'm thinking is this. Typically when you going to somebody to adjudicate on the issue of agency is a relatively straightforward matter. There's a certain limited number of things. When you start going, whoa, sorry.
No, I'm saying completely agree. It's pretty much three key factors, isn't it? Are you classing it as an agency?
Yeah.
Is there a secret commission? And should that commission have been disclosed? Three points really.
Yeah, I think you'll find that if there's an agency, there will be a requirement to disclose it. But I don't think that's really an issue. I think if the agency's there, then there is the obligation to disclose.
Yeah, but then there's two different points, isn't there? There's so is it a case of we've told customers that we will get a commission, and then it's a case, and then it's a secondary case is even if we've told a customer that we will be getting a commission, should we have disclosed exactly what that was?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and the second part ultimately goes on the understanding of the customer.
Yeah. Yes. Well, you would hope to make that point. Yes, I agree. And yeah, I mean that's an area of potential dispute as to on that subject. Yeah, look, I mean it's. As I say, I think that there is. I think it might be easier. It's your suggestion. I mean, I can see some merit in it. And as you say, there are several aspects to the commission. To the agency. It's not just is there an agency. There is also the question of disclosure and arguably a question of knowledge. I'm not sure how readily we're going to accept that, but we could discuss that. I mean, do you want to put something to me, or how do you want to deal with this, or how do you want to progress this?
To be perfect honest, we're relatively blasé about it. I mean, you're talking there about 7 customers that you've got potential claims against us out of 30,000 customers that we've got.
Yeah.
Massively on our radar. It's not something that it's not something that we're particularly bothered about. It's not something that we're particularly scared about. Ultimately, let's look at the point of view that you have to do. You have to do a farming exercise, contact a customer, in essence, cold calling them, unless you're using some of the data that you have bought from certain individuals within the marketplace. Don't believe you've got any of our data yet. But you've got to contact those customers. You've got to then get through to the decision maker, same as what we do. You've then got to convince that person that contract that they've signed up to wasn't the best contract. You've then got to convince them to take legal action. I think your chances of success on that, it's not a business opportunity I would take out.
Yeah, I hear what you say. I think and I agree. You've got to get hold of the decision maker. Generally, most of the responses that are received when you get hold, you've got to get through to the decision maker and you've got to explain what has happened to them. But once they understand that, and they usually don't, obviously, because they don't know about the commission, then actually persuading them to take legal action is it's not a difficult thing at all. There's a number of hurdles, and the early ones are definitely there. It's something which you've got to look. I mean, as I say, you're going to face legal burn on these things. Yeah, and you've got the ability to settle. And I think if you're saying you put some suggestion to me and I'll think about it, fine, I'll talk about it. But I mean, I don't know. If I were you, I'd be wanting to see these cases settled rather than fight them. But if you feel confident about your position, then I'm surprised. But if it were me, I'd want to see these settled. Anyway, I'm not here to fight hard with you in terms of whether it's right or wrong. It's something that we'd settle. We had already expected to take them, and and willing to do so. But it's so. Are you saying you don't want to put something to me, and you're inviting me to put something to you, or how do you want to deal with it?
Like I say, I'm quite open to, let's open up some dialogue and let's, throw some ideas to each other. I'll send over to you what my thoughts are. You can send over to me what your thoughts are.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's, if we can come to a compromise and we'll come to an agreement, perfect. It saves everybody time and money. If we can't, then we'll just plod on as it is.
And I think also, I think the situation will become clearer. I think there's an opportunity to reach a settlement now where you could get certain concessions from our position, which might be of advantage to you. And I think now would be a good time for you to consider, reaching that position. And it may be that if we don't do it now, then things might move on from there, and it might not be, some of the advantages that might have been otherwise there might not be there at a later date.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure
but you've also got to understand, Andrew, that those 7 claims that you've got against us have spanned over the period of you trying to claim those for 2+ years now.
Yeah.
So you've managed in 2+ years to gather a case of 7, which, looking at it, and again, this is just my early calculations, maximum payout if we lose the cases is 300 grand plus legal fees. Not trying to be brushy about it. It's a day's work.
Yeah. Fine. Yeah. No, I don't. I don't doubt that. But okay. But I mean, it's your legals will just. Yeah. Okay. Well, but there may not be just 7. That's my point. It's not a threat, but my point is, it's not necessarily going to stop there, and it'll all add up, and the legals will also add up. So it won't necessarily, that's the current position. It may not be. That may not be the position in a period, at a later date.
I don't fully expect you to comment on this, but what's the agreement that you've got with Northern Gas and Power?
We don't have an agreement with Northern Gas and Power.
Oh, right. They've told me that you do.
Yeah, not at all. No, they not nothing at all. Don't know why they would say that.
That's came directly from Phillip to myself, so.
He's not being accurate. He's referring presumably to historical action that he took against
Simon and somebody else, was it?
against the law firm, but there's nothing that involves business energy claims.
All right.
Yeah, no. Okay. Well, look. Shall I leave it with you, or if you want to put something to me and with some thoughts on what you've done before, and then I'll respond with some further thoughts, and we'll keep that on a without prejudice and confidential basis.
Yeah, happy to go with that.
Okay, good. Well, either way, Phil, let's keep the line of communication open. I mean, I appreciate we're both taking we have different positions, and you have yours to protect us, and I understand that.
Yeah, but,
okay,
but there's never anything wrong with keeping an open dialogue.
Yeah.
And you probably might not like me for saying this, but ultimately the only people who benefit from all this is the lawyers.
Well, quite. That's. I think that's particularly true for the brokers. I mean, as I say, we do have everybody on contingent fees, so ours only actually get anything if they're successful. So it's a lot easier for us as claimants to be making the claims, whereas you're inevitably going to be burning costs. And that's something to take in, to weigh up in the mix, because it.
But also you probably should have told me that.
Okay, why not?
Because the more of their time we can waste, the better for us, then, isn't it?
It would be the same. No. The more time that you waste of theirs, it doesn't cost us anything. It costs you time to waste their time. I mean, you're going to spend money wasting time, let's say, technically, and it's not costing us anything. So, and the lawyers, their position is they'll take this on anyway, and the more committed they are, the more they'll do it. But I mean, I don't know that I'd see that as an advantage and if you lose and costs are an issue, it's if it's over 10k, then it costs you more as well. Look, anyway, I think it's a useful conversation. It's good to catch up anyway, and. If you want to ping something to me, I'll give it some thought, and I'll put a few thoughts back to you, and we'll see whether we can find a way that works for both of us.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
All right. Good. Well, enjoy the weekend anyway.
You too, Andrew.
Again, probably. Yeah.
Yep.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye bye.